The Rip is a Netflix original and the latest film from Artists Equity, the production company started by Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. The two star here as seasoned Miami police officers of the Tactical Narcotics Team. Dealing with the recent murder of their captain and responding to an anonymous tip of a cartel money stash, the TNT find millions and all of a sudden find themselves questioning each other's loyalty while waiting on an attack from the cartel or crooked cops wanting to claim the money for themselves. Written and directed by Joe Carnahan, who gave us survivor thriller The Grey, sci-fi action boss level, over-the-top fun with the A-Team, the elevated and stylish Smoke and Aces, and gritty cop flick Narc, one of his first from 2002, which is the territory that he's going back to with The Rip. At least kinda. From the very first frame, we are thrown into a situation where bad things are happening and investigations are going nowhere. After weeks, there are no leads into the murder of their captain. Could it have been an inside job? Plus, there are growing concerns and rumors across multiple levels of law enforcement about officers doing the dirty. The Rip hits the ground running, and as you jump on for the ride, knowing the premise, you are looking around at both the main and supporting cast wondering who might be dirty. The movie gives you plenty of reasons to doubt every player on the board, as well as external threats and a bunch of red herrings. What's real? What's not? What's being said for the characters and what's being said for us, the audience? A twist might seem obvious, but is that by design? It's a simple, almost single location thriller that, for the first half, actually plays out like a horror film. Just like watching a Scream movie, right? Where in every single scene, you're looking around wondering who might be the killer in plain sight. I was doing the same throughout The Rip. Joining Damon and Affleck is a great supporting cast. We've got Stephen Yeun, Kyle Chandler, Tiana Taylor, who is having a great week after winning a Golden Globe a couple of days ago. We've got Sasha Calais, Catalina Sandina Marino, Scott Adkins, Nesta Carbonell, and Lena Esco, who all round out a pretty great ensemble. And whether you love or hate any of his work, Joe Carnahan always puts together a great cast for his movies. And with The Rip, not only is that the same, but we have seen each and every one of these actors play both good and bad guy roles. So we can buy that any one, two, or three might be in on it. Plus, for us geeks out there, it's another fun game of Spot the Superhero. We have a former Batman, we've got a former Supergirl, future Green Lantern, and the almost century but still current Invincible. Hell, if you wanted a deep cut, we've also got the Nolan Batman Gotham City Mayor, and X-Men Origin Wolverine's Weapon X. But the less said about that, the better. I said this is the latest movie from Artists Equity, the company started by Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, which kicked off with 2023's Air. The company's independent and with a mission statement of being more artist-led. Now, while all of their films don't star the pairing of Matt Damon and Ben Affleck like Air and The Rip did, at least with this two, we're getting some quality stuff. Oh, and I assumed that after Air, Ben Affleck is getting free Nikes for life, and that's on show here. His cop character wearing Air Jordans throughout the entire film. Take a drink every time you see one. Look, the downside of movies like this is that they can only be mysterious once. And after that, can they get replay value when you already know who's going to be the bad guy, where the twists are going to come? Look, a movie should really only be judged based on what it's like that first time around, but its long life will be determined whether it can be watched a second or third time. Take something like Knives Out, right? Great mystery, but it's great in repeat viewings because the great cast of ensemble characters are so much fun to watch again. I haven't seen The Rip for a second time, so I can't say whether or not it's going to work. What is the first-time watch shortfall of this movie? Ironically, might be when it actually leans into becoming the action movie. What I loved about this movie was how effective it was in its simplicity. Only a handful of characters in a single setting, all starting to look suspiciously at each other as night falls. But it is an action movie as well, and The Rip does tend to feel obligated to get to that by the end of its runtime. In a way, it kind of reminds me of the first Mission Impossible movie. Stay with me. There's a lot of secret, covert stuff going on that's very dialogue-heavy for 90% of the movie before a climax sees a fist fight on top of a bullet train going through a tunnel as it's being chased by a helicopter. I've never really had that big of a problem with that from the first Mission Impossible, and then with something a little bit more grounded like The Rip, it didn't really bother me that much either. Without going into spoilers, I don't know how you continue the narrative of The Rip with a bunch of cops finding cash stashes from drug cartels, but there are a couple of characters in this I would love to see more of. As far as Joe Carnahan films that I loved, I never got a second A-Team, but I would definitely watch a follow-up to The Rip, even if it does become more of an action movie. The Rip, available on Netflix now.
Get into geek.